Now at 10, the first winds and rain begin to lash the coast of Florida as Idalia upgrades to a bigger hurricane. Plus, heartbreak and goodbyes as Tyson employees begin to move on before the plant closes. And a Fort Scott woman celebrates a special milestone birthday.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Communities along parts of the Florida West Coast are preparing for a hurricane. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Hurricane Idalia is now expected to continue to intensify before making landfall tomorrow morning. Meteorologist Doug Heddy is going to have the latest on the course of the hurricane in a moment. But first, let's go to reporter Jason Allen in Crystal River, Florida.
As Idalia approaches Florida's west coast, the National Weather Service is warning of life-threatening storm surge, hurricane-force winds, flash flooding, and even tornadoes.
It's almost certainly going to make landfall in the state of Florida as a major hurricane.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis urged residents in evacuation areas against trying to ride out the storm, expected to make landfall Wednesday morning.
If you do choose to stay in one of the evacuation zones, first responders will not be able to get you until after the storm has passed.
More than 24 counties have issued evacuation orders. On Tuesday, Southwest Florida began to feel the impact of the storm from the Keys up through the Fort Myers Beach area and beyond. Crews at the U.S. Coast Guard station in Clearwater prepared for search and rescue missions. As it tracks toward Florida, Idalia has been gaining strength, fueled by some of the hottest waters on Earth in the Gulf of Mexico, which scientists attribute to climate change.
So if we get 8, 10, 12-foot surge, you're talking water's going to just flood all of these buildings.
While barriers are being put up to protect hospitals from storm surge, patients are being moved out of some medical facilities. Another concern, emergency managers are bracing for large-scale power outages after the storm. Jason Allen, CBS News, Crystal River, Florida.
Now let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy, who's tracking that hurricane along with our local weather.
Yeah, this hurricane has been strengthening as we have gone through the evening hours. In fact, you can see the eye wall, which is starting to pick up, showing us this hurricane is intensifying, really just due west of Tampa, and it is moving northeast at a pretty good clip. Look at this. It's pushing at about 20 miles per hour, but a strong Category 2, sustained winds at 110. This should become a Category 3, possibly a Category 4 by the time it makes landfall tomorrow morning. So a major hurricane for northern parts of Florida. And of course, the strongest winds are always on the east side of the hurricane. So that is going to be a big story over the next couple days. Back here at home, pretty good day. High temp at 90, normal high is 88. Our temperatures are going to warm back up. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you soon. In less than 2 months, the closure of the Tyson plant in Noel, Missouri will affect hundreds of families in McDonald County as more than 1,500 workers will lose their jobs. While some employees are choosing to remain in the company until the very last day, others are already leaving. According to former and current employees we spoke with, Tyson is offering $1,000 before taxes for those who choose to stay until October. The closure is affecting the workers not only financially, but also emotionally.
I want to leave on my own terms. I don't want to leave with Tyson basically pushing me out the door. I want to remember everything the way it was.
I don't really have a solid plan. I mean, I'm on the side looking for work. Every once in a while, I'll take a day off and I'll go out and I'll talk to other employers, but
the former and current employees also say the company is bringing in other Tyson facilities to talk to them and try to get the workers relocated. Tonight, we can find the complete story on our website. General Mills announces plans to expand in Joplin. The global food manufacturer is investing $48 million and creating 47 new jobs at its frozen dough plant location in Joplin. General Mills says the expansion will increase its manufacturing and packaging capacity to meet increased demand. After the expansion, the plant will have the capability to produce more than 1 billion pounds of frozen dough products each year. The expansion is scheduled to be completed in early 2024. A Joplin-based company today held a discussion about long-term insurance at the Joplin Senior Center. The owner of Staggs Financial Services, Stephanie Staggs, explained the importance of long-term care and understanding the policies. Long-term care covers daily activities such as bathing, mobility, and more. Many people assume long-term care is included in their life insurance, but that's not always the case. Not understanding insurance policies could lead to more problems.
They thought they had long-term care. They paid $50,000 for policies over the past 5 years. And again, $50,000, it was supposed to be only a $250,000 death benefit, which it really isn't much in the world of life insurance, but it was supposed to have long-term care, and it was a whole life policy. Well, the accumulated value was zero. So again, they paid $50,000 for something that on paper was worth $0.
Staggs says it's best to review policies to make sure you're getting what you pay for. If you're an aspiring filmmaker, the Joplin History and Mineral Museum has a contest for you. The Joplin History and Mineral Museum is looking for a 1 to 3 minute video that addresses the history of Joplin. Features can incorporate music, natural sound, interviews, and visuals to share non-breaking facts and perspectives. The deadline for submission of scripts with cited sources for approval is February 1st of 2024. Allow 2 weeks for script approval. The deadline for submission of completed video work is midnight March 4th of 2024. For a complete list of rules, go to the Joplin History and Mineral Museum website, and good luck to you. A century is a long time for a life, and a woman in Fort Scott has that beat by almost 5 years. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has the story.
In the year 1918, the First World War ended, the Spanish flu began, and Miss Hattie Faye Cohen was born. On September 3rd, Hattie, who goes by her middle name, Faye, will be turning 105 years old. For being over a century, she still gets around almost entirely on her own. But what's the secret to living such a long life?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's where I've lived. I've lived in the country, and everybody I knew, we was all friends. Never had any children.
Never had any children?
No.
But you've always had friends around you?
I think so. Hope so.
Simple country living and surrounding herself with friends. Sounds like Miss Faye has it all figured out.
I lived on a farm, and so there was always something to do.
Faye is only one of 9 children born just north of Fort Scott in Mapleton, and one of only 2 still alive.
Ruby, that's my brother back here.
And in her room, only a few photos can be found. Nonetheless, they carry a lifetime of stories.
We'll observe their wedding anniversary the 14th. Floyd Cowan and Faye Burlhart.
But we aren't the only ones who have given Miss Faye some attention. That black handbag is where she keeps all of her treasures. One of them, a newspaper article, and a picture of Faye with the exact same handbag. Going to 110, is that the goal?
Well, if I can make it.
If you can, all right. Well, Faye, I'll see you on that 110th birthday. Reporting in Fort Scott, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
I have no doubt she has lots and lots of friends. The family is going to celebrate Miss Faye's birthday this coming Saturday. Happy birthday. Coming up, a growing number of businesses in Missouri are taking on the title of breastfeeding-friendly work sites. Plus, there's a new crime fighter in Kansas, and his secret weapon is his nose.
You know when a melty grilled cheese sounds so good, but so does a bacony burger with creamy peppercorn ranch. And you couldn't possibly choose because brain no. Now wish for something else, like more hands to hold your bites. Sonic $2.99 Buffalo Chicken Dip Bites.
The Newton County Health Department joins a growing number of Missouri breastfeeding-friendly work sites. The Missouri Breastfeeding Friendly Worksite Program is a collaboration between the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services and the Missouri Breastfeeding Coalition. They say employers that provide lactation support services report higher employee retention, lower absenteeism, higher morale, greater productivity, and reduced healthcare costs. A new golf driving range is in the works in Webb City. Tee Time held a tee-off as a groundbreaking ceremony. The owners of Tee Time, Jonathan Johnson and Kelly Grantham, are locals who say they want to help build their community. Tee Time plans to have a 215-yard driving range, pickleball courts, and a full bar.
This is the place for the community. We really want this to be a place where people feel welcome and feel like they want to be here and be a part of it. And we're going to do everything we can.
As the guys have already indicated, this is going to bring, a huge entertainment venue to Webb City. So we're just very excited to be able to support that project for them and for our community.
Tee Time is expected to open late next spring. There's a new crime fighter in Shawnee County, Kansas, with a nose for sniffing out evidence that can sometimes go overlooked. Reporter Lane Gillespie has more.
Let's go to work. This is Goose, a new dog in Shawnee County District Attorney Mike Kagay's office, working in the fight against human trafficking and child sex crimes. He's a scent detection dog, but he smells for something unique.
This little SD drive.
Storage devices. Goose can track down any device with an SD card.
So this is actually a hidden camera within a USB drive. So this has a small SD card in the back.
Goose senses these devices by smelling a chemical spray that is undetectable by humans, but is needed for SD cards to work. He even caught the SD card in one of our cameras. Kagay heard about Goose through Operation Underground Railroad, an organization fighting against sex trafficking and sexual exploitation, primarily among children. Kagay says he was intrigued.
I think this is a great resource, and anytime we have a new process, something that we've not had available before, I think it's incumbent on us to at least consider it. And so when Brad brought me this idea, I was really interested.
Bradley Barrett is a detective in the DA's office and is Goose's handler. Barrett says these small devices can contain a lot of evidence, but often go overlooked.
SD cards nowadays, you can have micro SD cards that can hold a terabyte of data. I mean, we're talking about thousands upon tens of thousands, upon hundreds of thousands of photos that can be stored on one itty bitty little thing. And if you're searching the entire house for this, it's going to be extremely hard to find. But having an asset such as Goose, we're able to, he's able to help us locate these hidden devices to make sure we collect all the evidence. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we do all we can to stop the exploitation.
After his daily shift, Barrett says Goose is a playful, loving family dog. But when he's on the clock, Kagay says criminals should beware.
I want to make sure that any offenders out there or anyone thinking about doing this sort of crime understands that here in Shawnee County we have this capability. And we will find you, and we will find the devices that you're hiding this material on, and we will prosecute you and hold you accountable for what you've done. So don't do it.
Goose is also a therapy dog, which means he can help any victims during a court process or interview remain calm. A little bit later, the Gorillas prepare to kick off their season home opener. It's going to be this Thursday night. John has a preview coming up in sports.
Plus, we're going to track the tropics and our temperature slowly warming up. We're going to look at that coming up.
For our Veterans First car, truck, Jeep, and motorcycle show, September 9th.
Danielle Bradbury, September 29th, live at Kansas Crossing Casino, Pittsburgh, Kansas. Your entertainment destination. Must be 21 or older to attend. Entertainment schedule is subject to change.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Tuesday for us today. We had sunny skies, temperatures, high temps right around 90, but thankfully we didn't have the humidity that we had to deal with so much over the past couple weeks. So it was a little sticky out there, but overall it was pretty nice. Nice shot. Here's Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Pretty much clear skies for us right now. Looking at our temperature, 74 Nevada, 77 in Neosho, Veneta 73, Chanute is sitting at 79 degrees. But look at our dew points, upper 50s to lower 60s. Remember last week, they were in the lower 80s. That's why we had heat indices into the 120s, pushing 125. But we're in the upper 50s to lower 60s. We kind of sit in that pleasant to not bad range, and that's where we're going to be as we go through the next couple days. 78 northerly winds, 5 to 10. Dew point at 59, so that's pretty close to kind of where our temperature is going to go tonight. We'll slide back through the 60s, 64 by 7 a.m. Overnight low, right around 62, 76 by 10 a.m. But clear skies, nothing is going on here. In fact, the entire Central Plains looks pretty good. We did have a weak little wave that kind of slid through, gave us a few random little isolated showers on the Kansas side earlier today. Look at the eye wall intensifying for Hurricane Idalia, which is now just due west of Tampa, and it's moving pretty good at about 20 miles per hour. So this is going to make landfall tomorrow morning. Watch this, strong Category 2, possibly as strong as a low Category 4. So we could be having sustained winds in that 125, 130 mile per hour range. All the heavy bands of rain through Florida. Through the day, it tracks into southern parts of Georgia and then eventually into South Carolina and back out to sea by the time we get into Thursday. But this is going to cause pretty big problems for the southeastern parts of the U.S. Back here at home, look at this little twist, a little area of low pressure lifts toward us as we go through the next several days. So we're going to stop on Sunday. So we're heading in through the heart of your holiday weekend. This is the next chance to get a few showers that could get in here Sunday into Monday, which is Labor Day itself. But besides that, we're pretty quiet as we go through the next several days. All right, let's go back into the morning hours. Low to mid 60s to start. We warm into the middle 80s by noon. And then most of us, very similar to what we saw today. High temps, 89 to about 90 degrees. Case in point, 89 Stockton, 89 Neosho, 90 in Miami, 92 in Chanute. Tomorrow night, we drop back upper 50s to near 60 degrees. And then Thursday, a hair cooler, high temps, 86, 87, 88 degrees. So we get another couple nice stretches of weather. 64 in the morning, 85 by 4. High temp, right around 89. Let's go 86 on Thursday, 89 on Friday. So we stay into the 80s the rest of the week. Then we creep into low to mid 90s as we head into the holiday weekend. A few hit and miss storms. Unofficial end of summer. It's still going to feel like summer all next week. High temps, mid to upper 90s.
As is typical,
yes,
I guess, for Labor Day.
It is.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, Nevada High School softball tries to extend its winning streak to 4 games. And 4th-ranked Pitt State football team says it feels ready for its season opener. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Meals on Wheels. Volunteer drivers needed.
You're watching.
Before we vacate the premises, tons of merchandise must go. Additional discounts have been taken on all furniture and mattresses. Don't wait. Hurry to Slumberland Furniture in Joplin.
We are only 2 days away from the beginning of Pitt State football's defense of its MIAA title. The 4th-ranked Gorillas begin the season this Thursday night at home at Carney Smith Stadium against Washburn. And expectations are always high when you're coming off an undefeated campaign the previous season. The Pitt State players and coaches say they know there's a big target on their backs, but the Gorillas also say they feel like they've stepped their game up over the offseason.
We've had a lot of guys here this summer, and that wasn't always the case the past few summers, but I think just having the guys there together every single morning, going through conditioning, going through lifting, it's really good to see the growth and the team kind of come together, and it's been showing.
We've built a lot of depth at the O-line, and so that's been a positive. We've had some other guys step up at wide receiver. To me, that's been a real positive. Our on the defensive side, you know, our secondary continues to look really good and perform at a high level, as do those linebackers that are all veteran players coming back.
In pro football, today is the NFL 53-man roster deadline. So for the Chiefs, they had to cut, release, get rid of more than a third of the 90 players that played for them this preseason. Now, some interesting moves of note by the defending Super Bowl champs. Justin Ross, wide receiver who missed all of last season, the majority of the year before with a foot injury. He makes the roster. First time under head coach Andy Reid that Kansas City keeps 7 wide receivers on its roster to start the year. Chris Jones, not listed on the 53-man, still under contract with the Chiefs though, so if/when he comes back, he'll take someone's spot. Then Blaine Gabbert makes the team as the only quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes after the Chiefs cut Shane Bichelle. High school softball in the area continues today. A lot of scores to get to. We start things out with Joplin, who's taking a trip to McDonald County after the Eagles won 14-4 yesterday. This evening, though, they're the ones who lose by double digits. McDonald County wins 12-2 in a game that ended 2 innings early because of the 10-run deficit. Carly Cooper has a monster game for the Mustangs. She gets a triple, home run, and 4 RBIs on 3 hits. The win gets McDonald County up to 2-2 on the young season. Nevada looking like maybe the best team in the area this first week. The Tigers shut out Cassville 14-0. Nevada opened the season with a loss to Summit Christian in the first game of the Morrisville tournament. In the 5 wins they've had since then, though, all of Nevada's opponents have scored a combined total of just 2 runs. Over in Seneca, Carthage comes away with a road win over the Indians 9-5. They actually started the game trailing into the 5th inning. That's when Carthage scores 3 runs to grab the lead. They then add on 6 more insurance runs in the top of the 7th. Addison Wallace gets a complete game win with 8 strikeouts. Seneca and Carthage both next in action in Joplin's tournament this weekend. Then finishing things out in Oklahoma, Miami, another winner by Mercy Rule. War Dogs take down Hilldale 13-3 in 5 innings. This game close for the first couple innings. Miami scores the first 2. Hilldale responds with 2, but the War Dogs really put it away with a 6-run 3rd inning. Their next opponent is Jay on Thursday. Back to the Chiefs. For someone like myself who is, following closely the roster deadline, everybody's waiting for 3 o'clock to hit. You do get the fair share of jokes online of breaking news. Pat Mahomes will make the roster. Travis Kelce will make the roster. So yeah, a different day for those guys than some of the fringe guys.
Yeah, some of those fringe guys, their career dreams ended today.
Yeah,
and some of them will find their way onto other rosters for sure. We'll be right back.
Sachs, and I'm proud to partner with Lars New.
Another mild night out there, Doug.
Yeah, we're going to drop back right around 60 degrees. 89 tomorrow, so another pretty good day just like today.
Final sports notes.
Missouri Southern football visits a local elementary school tomorrow ahead of their first game.
Very good. We'll look forward to that. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
Captioning on